Today we're taking a look at the new Sub 200 model from Doxa. This new release is an addition on their existing line, swapping the ceramic bezel for this stunning mirror-polished stainless steel bezel. This video is a full review of the watch as well as a little bit of history on Doxa and why this watch is so special. You're watching On The Wrist? Let's get right into it. Before we get started, I do want to clarify that Doxa sent me this to review, however it is going back to them once the video is released. Let's talk about the design details. So first off, the main difference between this new release and their existing Sub 200 line is the swap from a ceramic bezel to this beautiful stainless steel bezel with the mirror polish finish. This stunning unidirectional bezel is fitted perfectly and has a very positive click when you rotate it each position. It's unidirectional because divers will use the bezel to help time how long they've been underwater to make sure they're watching their air supply. And if you had a bidirectional bezel, you could accidentally knock it and you could potentially change your marker and make you think you've been underwater less time than you actually have, which could cost you your life. So a unidirectional bezel marker is really an indication that this is a proper tool watch. Taking a look at the dial, I really like this white color. I think it's great for visibility. I think it looks so clean. I love the rectangular second hand marker as well as the raised indices. I also like how they've used a bunch of different finishes. The mirror polish on the bezel, mirror polish on some of the facets with a grain on the side. The side profile is nice and not too thick, and the bezel has these nice little cutouts that make it very easy to grab. The beads of rice bracelet is something Doxa does very well, and they offer on a lot of their watches. The mirror polish on them really attracts the light with the smaller side sublinks, makes it really easy to get an excellent fit on the wrist. The links are screw attachment, which make it easy for swapping them out, and it's much preferred to pin and cotter for me. The case back is solid with a nice Doxa logo and the basic information of the watch, and with a little bit of mirror polishing. The clasp is a nice logoed clasp that has 4 micro adjusted positions as well as a wetsuit extension. What this is used for is when you put on your wetsuit, your wrist gets significantly larger, and so if you're want to wear this watch outside of the water, it's useful to be able to extend it so that way you can use it with your wetsuit and wear it with your street clothes without too much work. Let's talk technical specs. The technical specs will pull up on the left. The diameter is 42 millimeters with a thickness of 13.8. The lug width is 19 millimeters and the crystal is sapphire. The movement is the ETA 2824-2 decorated by Doxa, which beats at 28,800 beats per hour or 8 ticks per second. It features a unidirectional bezel, a wetsuit extension in the clasp, its water resistance is 200 meters, and it has a 38-hour power reserve. And as you can see, there's some nice solid blue lume on the hands, indices, and on the top position marker for the stainless steel bezel. Let's get a couple shots on the wrist. So here we have it on my 7.5 inch wrist. I like the 42 millimeter diameter size, similar to my Speedmaster. I think it has good wrist presence, doesn't dominate too much. The thickness, I'm used to this thick a watch. I don't think it's too thick. It definitely raised a little bit above where it might be able to. I do like this feeling of the beads of rice bracelet, very comfortable, small link, so easy to get a good feel. A very interesting look. I do love how the white dial and that stainless steel bezel play off each other, and it's certainly reflecting a lot of light and very sharp looking on the wrist. A second perspective here, you can see how big it is on my wrist. Again, 7.5 inch wrist. I think this fits perfectly from a presence perspective, not too big, not too small, and looks really sharp. And now that we've talked about the watch, who is Doxa and how did they get started? It was in 1889 in Switzerland after talented apprentice George Ducamon decided it was time to start his own watch brand that Doxa was born. Doxa is the Greek word for glory, and over time the brand earned a reputation for value, quality, and craftsmanship. In 1907, they even filed a patent for an 8-day Doxa caliber, which became the standard equipment in Bugatti's racing cars. Fast forward to the 1960s, and Doxa partnered with diving legend Claude Wesley to test which colors were best for underwater visibility, determining that bright orange was the optimal color for low-light diving. Shortly afterwards, in 1967, they debuted the Sub 300 at Baselworld, which was the first professional-grade dive watch available for the public, which included their iconic orange dial. Like many mechanical watch brands, when the quartz watch crisis hit, they had to close doors, ceasing operation around 1980. However, It was revived in 1997 when the Jenny family of Benet acquired them and reintroduced the SUB series in 2002. Ever since, Doxa has been making high-quality, colorful dive watches for professional, casual, and desk divers. So now let's talk MSRP and value. So the MSRP of this watch on the bracelet with the stainless steel bezel is $1,090 as of recording in July 2025. It's also available for $1,050 on rubber. If you want to get the bracelet separately, it's $290, and the rubber strap is $250 when sold separate from the watch. There are also a variety of other colors available with both the stainless steel bezel as well as the ceramic bezel. There are a lot of dive watches with ETA 2824-2 or Sellita SW200-1 movements in the price ranges from $500 all the way up to $3,000. So when I think about the value of the Doxa, I think it's easier to compare it to some other watches on the market to kind of establish a baseline for how well it sits. On a similar footing, I see the Christopher Ward C60 Trident Pro 300. Identical price point, it does have a ceramic bezel, like one of the other options for this SUB 200. Similar diameter, but slightly slimmer. Both have a very clean design, but the C60 does have an exhibition back and an adjustable bracelet clasp. However, on the upper end, a brand that I really like, OntheWrist, their Aquas date is priced at $2,800. It's a similar size, it also has a ceramic bezel, has the base SW200-1 movement with a custom rotor, and while I'm a big fan of OntheWrist, it's nearly 3x the value, and really what you're paying for is the heritage of OntheWrist as well as the design language, and it is an entry-level luxury watch. I think Doxa has a rich history, it's actually older than OntheWrist by a moderate margin. And then on the lower end, Steinhardt has a series of homage watches to some famous designs that are around $600 that are pretty good value. And I do like Steinhardt, but a lot of their designs aren't particularly original. So looking at kind of overall the options in that price range, I think Doxa sits very well for value for the dollar. I do wish maybe they had an exhibition back or a quick adjust bracelet, but I think being a dive watch, the extension on the bracelet makes more sense than the quick adjust. Overall, I think the watch is high quality, finished well. I love the look of it. I think the Beads of Rice bracelet is a little polarizing, but I really like the strong color choice that Doxa offers. I like how it's really a rugged tool watch. It looks great, it wears well. So I think for its price point, it's well valued and sits well against its competition, continuing on the legacy of a reputation of value, quality, and craftsmanship. But let me know down in the comments below, what do you think about this watch? What do you think about Doxa? Is this something you could see yourself wearing? I'd love to hear what you have to say. That's all for me today. This has been On The Wrist. Thank you for watching.